Just outside the city of Le Mans, in the small village of Teloche, a strange tribe has settled down. Their chef is Takashi Ishikawa. A passionate cookie now runs the Etoile team, which he created and which he competes in the EWC, the World Endurance Championship.
まあ、活気があるというか若い人たちが集まってるなというそういう風なチームに見えます。で今滞在3日目に、まあ、疲れも見えてきているところとまとまってきているところと両方あると思っていてそのあたりが。So we came here like 1.5 months ago, and so as you can see we have French and Japan clock on the wall, and then here's the principal's room for the play and rest. お疲れ様です。あ、お疲れ様です。今日はゲストの方が来てます。おう、テロシェへようこそ。あ、テロシェ。I
like Teloche and now live in Tokyo, but I lived in Yamanashi until I was 19. It's like Teloche, the countryside. You go slowly, there's sunshine. I like it here.
Bien soleil. Donc j'aime bien ici. Okay. Your team. Okay. Good luck. Thank you. Good luck. Bye.
The people in here are really friendly. Sometimes we cannot receive the packages and goods, and some of neighbor received the package for us. Like I can't imagine this kind of relationship in Japan. So people are really welcoming. That's about what I like.
Team Etoile. Well, Team Etoile. 25 years ago, I was a trainee chef in France. I was near Lyon at the restaurant Guy Lassalle. Well, a Michelin star. A star is important for a French restaurant. When I decided to set up my team, I decided to call it Etoile.
We saw something like connection links between the Team Sugawara and us. So Team Sugawara is famous for the Paris-Dakar, I would say a legendary team in Japan. We want to be like them in two-wheeler world. That's why we asked Team Sugawara to have the place.
Well, last year I was looking for a way to come to France and set up my team near Le Mans. I contacted the Sugawara team to see if, well, they could help me find a house and a workshop. They offered me theirs.
Workshop maison. Lui, okay.
Team has already been in contact with another BMW team from Japan, and especially in last year, they saw the potential of the bike, the BMW as a brand. They wanted to go a different way than many Japanese teams and decided to go with the BMW.
She pushed a lot of tar one and then almost like close off. So it was slitting experience.
When was that?
Almost like beginning of the session.
There are some things that you need to know when you work with the Japanese people. How the communication works in a team is a bit different to how I was used to it. I'm super happy to be here, and yeah, we are excited and we are up for the challenge.
Well, 18 months after his horrific accident on the FCC TSR Honda at Suzuka, which almost cost him his life, Gino Rea returns to racing at Le Mans for the 24 hours. The opening round at the EWC for this first race in his comeback. Gino will be racing for the Wojciech team. This is the team of which he discovered endurance racing after a long career in Grand Prix and Superbike. At 34, Gino is back.
How'd you feel? First time back?
Not bad. Still quite good myself, but just a confidence thing in the bike.
Yeah,
I don't want to, after the crash the other day, I don't want to crash it again.
No.
Just want to start out like smoothly. So it's alright. On the last thing, I was green sectors of the last two.
Yeah.
So at least the pace is
Yeah.
similar to them.
Good. Right.
On the Tuesday test here, we are struggling a little bit with the bike, and Danny and then me, we had a very similar crash. And it's never good to crash, but at the same time, it's good to get the first crash out of the way and try to move on.
In August 2022 at the Suzuka circuit, Gino Rea was involved in a very big accident.
The scary thing is I don't remember maybe 3 to 4 months of my life. I don't remember the race week. I don't remember being in the circuit, riding in the practice. It wasn't a very bad crash, but the corner I crashed on, I slid and I hit the wall.
Almost a miracle. But he's worked hard, really hard, the last 2 years, getting himself back together, fitness, mentally. I've never been afraid to see Gino on a bike, because I always think he's very safe. He just seems to love bikes. Now we've got to go to the top again.
I was put into a coma. I had some damage to the brain, swelling inside the brain. I was in Japan for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, in intensive care, waking up from the coma. I flew back to London to be in the rehab hospital. I remember that every day we was going for walk-in sessions, and I was with my dad or wife and the doctors. I remember walking with my dad and saying to my dad, "What are we doing? Why are we walking around here?" He said, "Oh, it's part of your rehab." And I said, "Why? What do you mean, my rehab?" He said, "Yeah, from your crash." And I said, "Dad, I've crashed hundreds of times in my life. Like, what do you mean?" He said, "Oh, your bad crash." And then I was like, "What? I'm in rehab from a crash?" And he said, "Yeah, you was in the serious accident in Japan." And then he told me basically what happened. And that is one of my first moments of memories.
Well, from the hospital bed to getting him back up on his feet again, you could see he wanted to go again.
To get to him, started walking again. I could see that he wanted to go again. He wanted to finish what he started.
Repair process was very long and very slow. In my opinion, it was slow, but in the doctor's opinions, they said that I'm the first person they've seen, and this is the brain specialist told me this, I'm the first person they've seen that's recovered from that type of injury. Everyone else has gone in depression, is stayed in hospital, cannot move, and very bad things. So the process was very long, and at the start I was doing many types of exercises for coordination to get the brain working, eye exercises, because all that, the front part of the brain was damaged and it affects the whole area. But yeah, I was doing games like puzzles, all different types of things, and even general life lessons. It was like being a kid again and learning how to live, learning how to treat people, learning how to act. And sometimes you do something and then 5 minutes after you think, why did I do that? And then you learn from your mistakes. And it's something that happens in your life in general. When you're growing up, you learn from your mistakes. But this time it's like, when I learn from it, when I realize what I did, I'm asking myself, hold on, I knew that 20 years ago. I learned that part of living, that behavior, when I was young. But it's now I'm learning it again. And I'm very fortunate that I've gone through that process, and I'm now maybe 90%, 95% recovered. I don't think I'm 100%, but I'm getting there. I can't give an exact time when I started to think about bikes again, but it never leaves the mind. If the mind is functioning, I know how I crashed. I know that I was part of the Endurance World Championship team. I know that I was racing in I know the history, you know, I didn't forget that part. And yeah, it's in the mind naturally. You start thinking about it, and then when I first did it, when I first got back in my levers and I got on the bike, I was, I think, a little bit nervous, but I think intrigued is the best way to describe it. It's intrigued to see if I remembered what to do on track. And I touched my knee both sides on my first lap. So that was like, okay, I'm happy now. And I know kind of what to do. The only part of me that doesn't want to race again is the part of me that doesn't want to put my family, my wife, through the pain. I went to sleep and I woke up 6 months later. And yeah, I wasn't the same when I woke up, but that was almost the experience. Whereas my wife and then my family, they saw me in a coma. They went through the pain of knowing, is he going to wake up? Is he going to remember us? Is he going to be able to speak? Is he going to be able to think? They didn't know what was going to happen to me. So they're the ones that had the pain. And that is the only part of me that is not regretful, but that's the only thing about racing again that I'm scared of.
No crash, no breakdown, no mistakes. It's possible. 5-4? I don't know.
Sessions were very good. We could improve the bike a little bit more. Yeah, we offer the best for the race. To make it through the 24 hours without any, let's say, big technical issues.
Just the 2% of the race, so now the other part to come. Yard doesn't win in this track for a long time, so I hope this is the year that we can bring the victory back.
Actually, I was here for the parade lap and I was on the grid, and I was thinking, oh, it's amazing to be back, but I want to race, and now I'm back here about to race. It's quite surreal. Hey, yeah, it's going to be always difficult, but it's 24 hours, Le Mans. The plan is the lights are on all the time, in the daytime also.
You see some information.
Okay.
Maybe now, 0.
2, 1, 0.
When we got underway, it was Greg Black who led the field up to turn 1. Nicolo Canepa and the Yard Yamaha also quick away. The reigning champions determined to retain their crown this year.
Me and my teammates, we've been chasing this title since 2020, since I joined the team. In 2023, we changed our game on the technical side, I would say, and also on the rider side. It's not always the target to be the fastest on the track, but to bring the bike back.
Even the years before, we were so close many times. We were a bit unlucky, but the team improved so much, and us riders together, we have the perfect lineup, and I think we can make another good year.
Well, the 47th edition of the 24 de Moto off to a flying start. First down, though, the front runners, number 5, Josh Hook. And there was a second, more serious crash for teammate Mike D'Amelio a few hours later. Greg Black was the next to hit trouble on the Yoshimura cert. Suzuki dropping back to 12th overall.
Skinner will be joining them shortly. Next out, Charles James, that wasn't obviously conversion.
your first stint. How'd you feel?
I feel good. The only thing I'm nervous on is the front tyre.
Yeah. Front tyre just went, isn't it? 2 minute laps on it.
In general, it's positive because I felt good, the head was good, my riding was good, my pace was okay. Unfortunately, I crashed on the first lap, and then I thought, what? I just totally unexpected. We had a problem with the brake from the first lap. My teammate told me that, and when I went out on the first lap, I was trying to adjust it every lap, every corner.
Well done, Pete.
In the end, it's positive because I feel okay. It's my first return back to a race, and yeah, the feeling is good.
Maybe at the worst at that time, with 3 degrees asphalt temperature and like 2 degrees air. We fight through. Of course, we didn't expect it, our situation right now, after being in the lead with more than 5 laps, but bike is working fine. The team made a good job, repaired the bike, and now we're fighting back.
The unfortunate crash for the Yamaha, beneficial for the Yoshimura Cert Suzuki. They overtook the BMW and took the lead with 8 hours remaining, a position they wouldn't lose. Well, last year we had cold, but I think it was dry. There was humidity and it was very tricky. I don't even know who it was, but in front of me, just braking with the bike, he lost the front. Well, the conditions were so complicated. We're trying to keep up the pace, keep the gap with the 37. Shouldn't do too much though. It's just so difficult out there. Well, one of the favourites for victory, the BMW.
Cold, slippery. So don't try to crash like a lot of the other guys. The night was not so bad. The riders make a very good job. We have some small problems with vibration and some parts broken off. So now we are second. Could be the first place, but okay. It's the riders make a perfect job.
Well, for Team Etoile, the race is over. Well, the bike's broken. The most important thing, the rider is okay. We must go on, learn the way to improve.
Continuer, étudier, étudier, continuer, continuer. Et après, oui, oui, prochaine.
First 12 hours we increased the speed all the time. We catched up with the front group of our class. Yeah, everything was running very well. Unfortunately, in the morning we had a crash on the front. The damage was pretty big, so we could set everything up, run it again, but yeah, we figured there's an issue with the chassis, so it's safer to stay in the box and yeah, call it a race for us, unfortunately.
Well, hopes of a Superstock podium faded for the Etoile team. Victory now in the grasp of National Motors. In the EWC class, it's the Yoshimura Cert team who are on course for victory overall. The BMW Motorrad team clinging on to second place, while behind them the Yamaha managing to recover to third. That would deny the Kawasaki WeBike Trickstar team a place on the podium.
We didn't do the complete race because we had a bike problem. So we done a little bit less hours, but still we done 16, 17 hours of racing of the 24-hour race. So
I remember in October in the last year when I called to Gino and asked Gino run a race with us and said, I'm not sure I'm ready. I need 2 weeks and I confirm you. I need to train something in Spain. And after 2 weeks, he called me, okay, I'm ready. I do some laps, I'm fast, I'm in good shape, okay, we can start. This is the story.
yeah, quite an incredible achievement for all of us. It's nice to be back with the Watch It Racing Honda team. Nice to be back racing in general. Surprising that I got to the end and I feel okay. Next step is the next race is the Spa 8 hour. The last time I was there was the famous 24-hour race where we had the podium battle on the last few laps.
From now on, victory no longer in Suzuki's grasp. Well, he's my neighbour. We live in the same area. His workshop, 800 meters from my house in Toloche. I drive past this place every day.
Weight off the shoulders, done now. Let's start again now.
Get to the next one, hurry up.
Yeah. Good job. Thank you.